Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you've ever gotten a piercing, you've almost certainly run into a classic dilemma. You're standing there trying to choose between the jewelry that looks absolutely incredible and the jewelry your body is actually going to tolerate. Today, we're diving deep into the exact material science of safe body jewelry. We're looking at this fascinating clash between aesthetics and biocompatibility. We're going to examine the very real biological differences between gold and titanium, and why the metals you choose can literally be the difference between a beautifully healed piercing and an absolute total nightmare.
So, here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the body jewelry dilemma, move into titanium, the healing standard, then decoding gold carats, explore the gold-plated trap, and finally, we'll wrap up with the rules for safe piercings.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the body jewelry dilemma.
To really understand the jewelry market, I want you to think about your own experiences for a second. Why is your piercing weeping? Have you ever had one of those frustrating, unhealed piercings that just stays red, irritated, and kind of crusty for months on end? You know, you do everything right, you clean it meticulously, but it simply refuses to heal. It's an incredibly common experience, and the answer almost always comes down to the microscopic material science of the metal that's sitting right there inside the wound track.
And this frustrating reality sets up the main clash for your body, tradition versus the medical standard. On one side, we have gold, right? It represents tradition. It carries centuries of cultural weight, prestige, and high value. On the flip side, we have titanium, the modern medical standard. Titanium isn't chosen for its historical value, it's chosen for absolute biomechanical perfection. Now, the crazy thing is, both of these metals can be perfectly safe in a piercing channel, but both can also be dangerous, depending entirely on what the word gold actually means in the context of material science.
Let's move to Section 2, titanium, the healing standard.
To really get why titanium is the heavyweight champion of the medical world, we have to talk about a scientific concept called passivation. Specifically, we're talking about the titanium dioxide, or TiO2, passive layer. Implant-grade titanium, which you might see designated as ASTM F136, contains absolutely zero nickel, none. Instead of reacting with your body, its surface forms this microscopic protective oxide layer that completely shields it from physiological conditions. When you get a fresh piercing, you essentially have an open wound tract that's going to be actively healing for 6 to 12 months. This TiO2 layer is the exact reason why titanium is the absolute, unquestioned standard for that crucial healing phase. So, how does this incredible self-healing process actually work in practice? It's pretty amazing. Step 1. A mechanical scratch occurs on the jewelry. This happens all the time, just from putting it in or the daily friction of wearing it. Step 2. That protective oxide layer actually reforms in milliseconds. It is a virtually instantaneous chemical reaction. And Step 3. Because it heals so incredibly fast, there is zero ion release into your body fluids. Titanium basically asks absolutely nothing of your body, except that it heal around a stable, completely non-reactive surface. That's exactly why professional piercers default to it.
But hey, what if you just really love the look of gold? Well, look at these two options. Solid gold is, expensive and, as we're about to see, varies wildly in how safe it actually is. But titanium? It's anodizable. By applying a very controlled electrochemical voltage, about 20 to 30 volts, you can actually thicken that existing TiO2 layer. This produces interference colors across the visible spectrum without adding a single drop of pigment, dye, or coating. It gives you a permanent, warm yellow gold tone that's completely integral to the oxide itself. It can't chip, it can't peel. It gives you the gold aesthetic safely, with full biocompatibility, and honestly, at a fraction of the cost.
Which brings us nicely to Section 3, decoding gold carats.
Let's look closely at the exact composition of 18-karat gold. 18-karat is actually the European ISO standard for initial piercing jewelry. It's 75% pure gold, and the remaining 25% is an alloy fraction. But at 18 carats, this fraction is typically made of highly biocompatible metals, stuff like silver and copper. Nickel isn't required for strength or color at this purity level. Reputable manufacturers purposely formulate their 18-karat alloys to be entirely nickel-free for the piercing market. So if you're putting gold into a healing wound, this is the absolute minimum carat you should be requesting.
Now let's contrast that with 14-karat gold. This is the dominant standard in the US fine jewelry market, mostly because it's harder and more durable for things like rings. But it's only 58.3% gold. The rest is an unknown alloy, and that introduces significantly more risk into a healing piercing.
I really want to focus on this number right here, 41.7%. That is the non-gold fraction sitting inside your body when you wear 14-karat jewelry. That is a lot of mystery metal.
In 14-karat white gold, that massive alloy fraction almost always contains nickel as a whitening agent. Even in yellow gold at 14 carats, it might contain nickel. You just cannot tell from the carat number alone. When your piercing channel is bathed in body fluid electrolytes for months, that high alloy fraction means a much higher potential for toxic ion release. The European piercing community standardizes on 18 carats specifically because the risk-reward calculus completely changes the second you drop below that 75% gold mark.
Okay, let's look at Section 4, the gold-plated trap.
I want to share a super telling anecdote from Patrick's deep archive because it perfectly grounds all this science in a very relatable and frankly painful human experience. He notes a pattern he's seen going all the way back to the 90s. 3 months later, the piercing channel is weeping, and the client is convinced they're having some exotic allergic reaction. Guys, this happens every single day. Someone buys what they think is an affordable gold piece online. It looks great, the listing says gold, but a few months later their tissue changes color and gets completely inflamed. They aren't having an exotic allergy, they're experiencing the highly predictable result of buying mystery metal. 9 times out of 10, they bought gold-plated brass or steel.
Let's break down the exact physics of why these plated pieces inevitably fail. Step 1. Friction from daily wear. Every facial expression, every time you sleep on it, every time the jewelry moves. Step 2. That gold plating, which is literally only a few microns thick, wears right off. It's not a manufacturing defect, it's just simple physics. A layer that thin simply cannot withstand the mechanical friction of a piercing. Step 3. The underlying nickel, brass, or copper substrate makes direct contact with your healing tissue. And step 4. An aggressive inflammatory reaction begins. Even gold vermeil, which is gold over sterling silver, fails because silver tarnishes so rapidly in body fluid. Rule of thumb, if a piece is cheap enough to impulse buy and it lacks a solid gold assay certificate, you have to assume it's plated and it does not belong in your body.
Finally, let's bring it all home with Section 5, Rules for Safe Piercings.
Here are your definitive, science-backed takeaways for safe healing. First, always default to ASTM F136 implant-grade titanium for fresh piercings. It's the universal zero-nickel self-healing standard. Second, if you really want real gold, require solid 18-karat or higher and ask for the assay certificate so you know it's a nickel-free alloy. Third, actively avoid 14-karat gold for healing piercings because of that massive unknown alloy fraction we talked about. And finally, never use gold-plated, gold-filled, or vermeil jewelry in any piercing, whether it's fresh or healed.
We've covered a ton of ground today, from the self-healing superpower of titanium to the hidden traps lurking in low-carat alloys and fast-fashion plating. So, knowing all of this, what is actually inside your healing ear right now? Are you wearing genuine 18-karat gold, self-healing medical titanium, or a microscopic layer of plating just waiting to expose a nickel trap? Take a second to really think about the jewelry you're wearing right now. Your body's ability to heal literally depends on it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.